Greetings. This video deals with a very important matter, as you shall soon learn. Looking at this picture, you are viewing a row of animated characters of women wearing hospital gowns, prepared for a surgical procedure. This view is to brief your understanding of what you are about to learn from this video. You are viewing over 4,000 women arranged in a compact formation to display this many persons on the screen. This picture is arranged for viewing over 26,000 women on the screen. The number of women is so large, it is difficult to make out the figures of the women, especially those in the distance. What does this all mean, you ask? These pictures are animated representations of large numbers of pregnant women. I did not use babies because I felt it would be too heartbreaking for many viewers. Each day in America, for the past 42 years to date, over 4,000 women have had their babies' lives terminated by abortion. Each day there is. Think about it this way. Every day over 1,000 more babies are killed than people were killed in the attack of the World Trade Center on September 11th, 2001. Similarly, every day over 1,000 more babies are killed than Americans were killed by the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. That's correct. Americans kill more of their own children each day than those two well-known acts of slaughter. Yet Americans have those two events burned into their minds as unforgivable events of evil and terror. Each week, over 26,000 women will have an abortion in America. If this picture of the 26,000 women was reenacted by humans standing on a highway, it would extend close to 1/4 of a mile in length by the length of a football field. Yes, this many children, on average, have been systematically murdered for the past 42 years in America. Think about this. Over 26,000 infants will be killed this week in America. Call this what it is. Pull off the veil. Take off your rose-colored glasses and realize this is horrible carnage. This is genocide and human rights violations on steroids. This is genocide. It's not about the mother, the life of the mother, inconvenient child, the right of the woman over her body, or other social reasons. This is genocide. Americans have aborted over 57 million babies since 1973. This genocide is a horrible example of how the American people have been manipulated. We could, of course, blame it on the Supreme Court justices that made the ruling that allowed abortion. Those justices may or may not have realized how a surgical procedure would be turned into genocide. After all, America, at the time of the Roe v. Wade ruling, was a Christian, God-fearing nation. Could those justices or anyone have ever envisioned the horror this ruling has spawned? Could it be those justices thought the American people would only use this right in extreme cases of hardship? Americans continue to be consenting to the practice of this genocide. Americans, you have been deceived. You may not have actually thought much about the practice of abortion, especially a systematic murder of millions. You need to be aware this is no small thing. This genocide is practiced very efficiently, disguised and managed by evil people and greedy people. Americans, this genocide has gone beyond ideology promoted to you as social and humanitarian prerogatives. These following photos are of a stadium that has a seating capacity of 27,000 people, located in Carson, California. These photos were taken at sold-out sports events. You're not viewing every person, of course, but you should get an idea what a large group of people 27,000 is. This stadium is a near-perfect example of just how many babies have been killed each week for the past 42 years by abortion. Look at all those thousands of people and realize there are about the same number of people in that stadium as the number of children who will be killed by a bloody abortion this week in America. That's correct. Since 1973, we have allowed the murder of over 26,000 children on average every week. Americans, we must call it what it is: genocide. Americans, we must do whatever it takes to stop it as soon as possible. Every day is critical. The average number of babies that will die a day, and each day until we stop it, is over 4,400. This is not someone else's problem. It is our problem. America has to provide the solution. This is unbelievable. We have allowed such carnage for so long. It is enormous genocide. We're persecuting and destroying our own people. It's an enormous genocide. We are persecuting and destroying our own people en masse. The following information is critical. Pay attention. Americans, you must wake up. You must realize this genocide will evolve further into other areas of bloody carnage. It is already being promoted by evil interests to allow termination of children up to 3 years of age. The evil people behind this genocide will continue to enlarge their murderous goals. There are powerful, wealthy interests and organizations involved in this genocide. The people and organizations behind this have a worldwide agenda of eugenics, ethnic cleansing, and genocide, among whom are government, international organizations, other powerful persons, and global influences. Worse still, these evil interests have many collaborators within the mainstream media, which gives them powerful influence over the people. If the people that are promoting and directing this genocide decide to kill you, what will you do? Consider the methods used in the past 100+ years of the eugenicists. The German Nazis are a very good example of how things can go so wrong and cost so many lives. Hitler and his minister of propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, promoted hatred and lies to the German people. These two men brought unreasonable accusations against all manner of people they considered so undesirable as to direct their hatred to the point of killing them. Many German people were eventually convinced to join with them. They were consenting and involved in the genocide of those people. Their campaigns of propaganda were promoted further by attacks on their own people, false flags, clandestine methods, and outright lies. Eugenics has been a prerogative among the so-called elites in this world since the turn of the 20th century. Eugenics has been skillfully practiced and promoted by all manner of empowered evil people and governments. These people have used all manner of unscrupulous and devious means to achieve their evil ends, including attacks on persons based on ethnicity, religion, beliefs, race, personality, patriotism, political differences, preferences, and financial ability. The practice of eugenics continues to this day, as we know from the historical and current record of eugenics and genocide. Abortion may or may not have been legalized as a humanitarian choice in America. Who knows what was in the minds of those Supreme Court justices who legalized abortion? Regardless of interests, intents, or motivations, America has become a murderous nation. Abortion has evolved into well-organized genocide, and it is time for Americans to wake up and stop it. This is spiritual warfare. There have always been haters of mankind, as explained in the Bible. Powerful message comes from Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Yes, there is a devil, and there are people whose works are evil. Read in your Bible from John 8:44, where Jesus calls them out and tells evil people just who they are and who they serve. You are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there's no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. We now have a majority of pro-life and conservative representatives and senators in the Congress. We must become involved, demand the Congress to pass legislation to stop this. Abortion can be stopped simply by legislation that declares the child in the womb is an American citizen entitled to all the rights of a citizen. The manifestation of genocide is mass murder. It's not a matter of what you believe or don't believe. Personally, I am very concerned this has gone on for so long, and so many have died. The hope I have rests in the fact that God has not performed judgment upon our nation up to now as it can be. This is a very serious warning from the Bible. Malachi 4:6, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. Americans have no idea what that scripture means. We have been so blessed and protected for so long by God. You might want to read from the Bible in the book of Jeremiah for a better understanding. You will realize from reading that Americans have accepted and embraced evil more than those people discussed in the book of Jeremiah. God's grace and mercy was prominently with those people as well. They chose evil over good, as Americans have. Jeremiah was sent by God to testify to them. Jeremiah increasingly told them and told them and told them of impending judgment for their evil works. Those people persecuted Jeremiah almost to death many times. Regardless of how many times they were told, they refused to hear and repent. Then one day it was over, and the judgment of God was enacted upon them. Those people awakened to a new day like all other days, experiencing the sanity and normal nature in their community. Judgment came in the form of Babylonian armies who came to war upon the nation of Israel. The Babylonians killed and destroyed. Everything was lost to the enemy. On top of that, there were many who died of disease and famine. Many were taken to Babylon as slaves. Israel, as a nation, was no more for generations. We know from reading the scriptures what the mind of God is about many things. We don't have to be told. We can read and learn. When people refuse to let the knowledge of God into their knowledge, they will eventually bring judgment and sorrows upon themselves. From the Bible, Proverbs 14:34. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. There are solutions clearly written within the scriptures for all to read. Americans, we must pray, fast, seek God, repent, and turn from our wicked ways. Concerned Americans, you will learn what to do soon enough as you turn to God's Word for counsel. You may think you can do nothing. You would be wrong. You can. Christians, we do have the power to stop this. Prayer is our most powerful weapon against this evil. Jesus reminded us through his testimonies to pray. We must pray diligently. If you don't think judgment is at hand, you need to go back through this again and possibly restudy that book of Jeremiah. God does not waver or compromise judgment. The abortion evil is so great, there has never been such evil in the history of the world. I want you to think about that. I want to believe it is not too late. We cannot continue passively to allow this practice to continue without serious opposition and prayer. Pray for the children, the little ones, the precious babies whose voices cannot or never will be heard. Pray for the mothers and fathers of those little ones. Pray for the Lord to empower us and help us to do our part to stop this great evil in America. There will be naysayers and those opposed to stopping this carnage. There will be naysayers who will mock Christians, hold us in derision, and it won't matter what they say or what they think. The Lord God, our Creator, is alive and loves us. The Lord God will attend to our prayers and petitions. As you read the scriptures, you know God can deliver against insurmountable odds. We look at enormous opposition as being beyond our ability to deal with it. All through the scriptures you can read of God as a deliverer. God gave the land of Israel to the Jewish people. Still, they had to fight their enemies. God was with them and helped them to win great victories. The people had to do their part by fighting their enemies. God wasn't there to beat the enemy for the people. God was there to help the people to win over their enemies. That is the way of it. Since the beginning of mankind, God has always expected us to be interested enough to do our part. Don't be of a mind only to pray and do nothing else. Become active and involved. America was founded to be ruled of the people, by the people, for the people. That means you, me, and everyone to stand as patriots, to preserve America. America has faced and will continue to face many tyrannies and great evil. God will always deliver us as we stand fast in faith, honor God, and do our patriotic best. God has blessed America, and His name is in this place. You may use this complete video for informing your friends and anyone who will listen. Make copies, post links, post the video on websites, send it in emails, share it. Help wake up Americans to this carefully disguised genocide. Refer to abortion as what it is, as genocide. Don't let the evil ones hide their agenda. Make it plain, speak it often, and share. This is genocide.